Let's make a rich, traditional barbacoa that's gonna melt in your mouth. It is pure, tender goodness. There's so many ways to make it, so this is the ideal recipe for tools you may already have in your kitchen. Cooking it on a stovetop is a very popular way of making barbacoa. That's exactly how we're doing it. Let's start with about 5 medium pieces of banana leaves. Nowadays, you can find them in the frozen aisle or the cold produce area. Rinse them and dry them with a kitchen towel. We're probably only gonna need 5. I have 10 here, just in case we need more. To make them flexible and also release those beautiful aromas, I'm gonna set a comal over medium heat. Just pass them through and let them develop a brighter color. Banana leaves are not that flavorful. They do release a beautiful aroma and add a slight sweetness to your dishes. Avoid burning them. We just want them pliable with a beautiful color. Next, remove the seeds, veins, and stem from 6 guajillos, which have a bright flavor but are not overpowering. The also famous guajillo. If you cook Mexican food at home, this has to be a staple in your kitchen. 6 puyas, they're very similar to guajillos, just with an added kick of heat. 1 ancho chile, which is gonna bring a beautiful balance because of its sweet chocolatey tones. Wipe them down with a damp paper towel because we don't wanna get them completely wet. And this is a great way of cleaning them. Lastly, cut them into small pieces. Grab a white onion, and we're only gonna be using half of it. Roughly dice it. Smash and peel 6 garlic cloves. I could even go for 8, but I have to contain myself. Garlic is just one of those ingredients that makes anything taste so good. Let me show you the cuts of beef that we're using. 3 pounds of short ribs. I asked the butcher to cut them in half since we still want to keep them big because they're cooking for a long period of time. 2 pounds of shank. We're gonna do the same thing and just pat them dry to remove some of that surface moisture. That way it browns beautifully. Generously season both sides with salt. Don't be afraid because these are big pieces of meat. Before we flip them, let's do freshly ground black pepper. Hit the second side with more salt and black pepper. Let's brown the meat. Place a large pan over medium-high heat and heat a couple of tablespoons of avocado oil. Let that sizzling begin. Do this in batches to prevent overcrowding because that can lead to sweating, and that's not what we want. We need a beautiful browning. Oh yes. Turn the heat to medium-low. Add a little bit more oil. Saute the onion and garlic. Sauteing the onions over medium-low heat, it's really gonna help deglaze that browning at the bottom because they're gonna start to sweat. These have slightly softened. Now for the spices. Do 5 whole cloves, 1½ teaspoons of Mexican dry oregano, 1 teaspoon of dry marjoram, ½ a teaspoon of whole cumins, ½ a teaspoon of allspice, and these are whole. Toast them for about 1 to 2 minutes to deepen those flavors. The dried peppers are also gonna get toasted for a couple of minutes just until they become fragrant. It's very important not to burn them, so keep an eye on them. Now pour in 3 cups of water. You're gonna get a facial if you don't get out of the way. Stir that in. That water is gonna finish deglazing that bottom. Just allow it to reach a gentle simmer. Turn off the heat, cover them, and allow them to hydrate for about 5 to 10 minutes or until the chilies have fully softened. Transfer into a bowl with 2 tablespoons of white distilled vinegar, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and blend until completely smooth. Give it enough time to fully break down the chili skin. If it doesn't, you can always strain it. Pour it into a bowl. Taste it and add more salt if needed. I'm gonna be adding ½ a teaspoon. Because I want it to be well seasoned. But remember, we don't want to oversalt it. That meat already has salt. Keep that in mind. We're gonna need a steamer pot. This is the one that I use when I make tamales. It's probably a little bit too big. I'd rather have more room than no room. Remove that rack from the bottom. Add in ½ of an onion, a small head of garlic, and I'm gonna slice that end off. 5 sprigs of fresh thyme. 3 bay leaves. These are all aromatics that are gonna infuse and give our meat a wonderful fragrance. 1 cinnamon stick. Place the rack back inside and add water until it reaches the base. For me, it's about 10 cups. It didn't quite touch the rack, but it's right under it. Take 2 of those banana leaves and line the bottom. Leave a few gaps so the chili can drip into the bottom. And here is a special ingredient. We have some dry avocado leaves. I'm gonna leave you the link to a reliable source down in the description area in case you're interested. And I do have about 24 of them. Lay half of them at the bottom of the pot. Dip the meat into the sauce and lay it over the avocado leaves. Cover the entire bottom. Then we're gonna make a second layer. This gets done individually because you wanna make sure that those pieces are well coated in that beautiful and delicious red sauce. Spread the remainder of the avocado leaves. They're gonna provide us with herbal anise-like flavors. Let's do the last batch of meat. Just lay it right on top of the leaves. Pour the remainder of the sauce all over. Beautiful. Cover the top with a few banana leaves. Just eyeball it. I'm gonna need 3. The aromatics we placed down at the bottom of the pot together with the banana leaves are really going to infuse that meat and your kitchen with beautiful aromas and flavors. Set this to medium-high and bring it to a boil. I can hear that bubbling. Lower to medium-low and let it reach a gentle simmer. Cover and let it cook for 3 hours or until the meat is full of the bone tender. Excitement is an understatement, everyone. 3 hours, the agony has been real, but we finally get to dig into our beautiful barbacoa, which smells amazing. Step away from the steam, always. Let's uncover the gift and look at that. Oh my goodness, so good. I removed all of the aromatics at the bottom of the pot, the leaves. Now I just have the consommé, and I'm gonna place the meat back in here carefully because it's very tender. That way it stays moist and hot. If when you taste it, you feel it needs a little bit more salt, feel free to sprinkle some in there. I'm gonna turn this to low to keep it nice and warm. Let's serve it up. Serve it as an entree with Mexican rice, frijoles de la olla, and spoon some of that delicious broth over the meat to keep it nice and moist. Make some tacos by shredding the meat, add the toppings, which are chopped onion, chopped cilantro, a squeeze of lime juice, and a delicious salsa taquera. Serve them with a nice bowl of consommé, that broth that was cooked at the bottom. Also top them with chopped onion, chopped cilantro, and a squeeze of lime juice. So delicious.
I'm gonna have the entree.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So good. Tender, full of flavor.
Wow, this is so good. Look how tender this meat is. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so sorry. It's dangerous, but it's tender.
You got your point across, right?
Yes, I did.
Just have some of that consommé.
What did we do to deserve this? This is a delicacy. Can't get better than this.
Pure gold. You can find the full printable recipe on villacocina.com.
Let me say the last part since I got a sexy voice today. Until the next one.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't that sound like a really good commercial?
No, I cannot. Until the next one, everyone. Bye.